Well, hi, folks. Welcome to Larry's Fountain Pen Review. I'm Larry, and I'm your host here in Fort Worth, Texas. Sunny Fort Worth, Texas, because the temperature right now is 75 degrees, and it's been sunny all day, and it reached the highest today up to 78. So, hey, we'll be grooving, and that's not what we've been doing. Let me get my little friend out. It's been a while since you've seen him, but he wants to say hello somehow. Can you dig it? That's my little minion friend. He kind of hangs out with me from time to time. So, anyhow, real quick, let me tell you what this review is about. And there will be an updated review in the future. I'm a fountain pen guy, right? But there comes time that I enjoy using a ballpoint pen, a felt tip pen, rollerball pen. There's times that I have needed a ballpoint pen, signing checks and some documents, because the fountain pen just can't go through the copies for duplicate copies. So you never know when you need a ballpoint pen, right? Or even a gel pen. I know, I hear you. There's a lot of people that just hate and despise ballpoint pens. But I'm not one of them. You know, Goulet carries a ballpoint pen. Anderson Pens carries a ballpoint pen. There's quite a few people that carry ballpoint pens. For backups, I always carry a Retro 51 rollerball with me for a backup just in case. And in my pocket, though, it's a fountain pen. But it's the Kaweco Mini that I carry in my pocket. So, I'm always carrying pens. You know, I love pens. Do you love pens? Fountain pens, ballpoint pens, gel pens, rollerball pens. Again, felt pens. Now, let's try to unite our folks together and try to love one another for what we enjoy. It all comes down to one thing: pens. Ballpoints are totally different than fountain pens. I got that. So are gel, rollerball, so are felt pens. But they all bring something, I think, unique and different to the table. It's something that people have different tastes for, different needs, different wants, different desires for. So they may grab a ballpoint pen or a felt pen or whatever, rollerball. Well, you know, I've said many times before, I like vintage pens. And there's certain brands that I'm particularly fond to and drawn to as well. Well, I was looking on a site one day on eBay, and I happened to run across an eBay store that carried a vintage 1950 Parker pen I was interested in. The folks' name are AB Rustic Relics, but on eBay, I will have their link to their store here in the description box below. They have buku kinds of items on there. So, let's take a look and tell you a little bit about this pen. Good looking vintage pen that I got from them, and pretty much well taken care of. It's got the famous Parker arrow on it, and at the bottom of the cap it has Parker, made in the good old USA. A nice turquoise barrel, aluminum cap. So what makes this pen different or more unique than any other Parker? Well, this one, my friends, it does post, and it has a felt tip pen. Felt tip. Now, I think, where people at right now, we tend to forget how nice a fiber tip pen is. There's all different kinds though. But, Parker is one of my favorites. Waterman as well. Esterbrook. Those are just a few that come to mind. Now, this pen weighs in with the refill in it was 14.7 Gs. The length of the pen cap is 5.35 inches. Posted 5.64 inches with a felt tip nib. And just real quickly, we're going to stop here for a minute, do a little bit of writing, and then we'll go back for some more history on this pen. Here we go. And the name of the pen. Nice felt tip. Now, I wasn't sure if this pen was even going to write, because usually these vintage pens from way back in the day, their tips are already dried up. The ink is dried up in it. So let me take this apart and show you what the refill looks like. Here is the refill. And this is the whole pen. Now the refill, for the first time for me, I've never seen one like this. The name on the refill and what it says, this is a MFD, looks like. Parker logo, Parker on it. Made in USA. Then it has a DF, looks like. And that's what I got out of here. So, this pen still has a little bit of juice left in it. But soon it will be going dry. So, I am on the hunt to replace this pen, the refill on it, and it's not the easiest to find. I've tried using some retro rollerball refills in it, cross refills in it, some Pierre Dacon, how do you say that word? Pierre, that French name, Pierre?
Papier Plum?
Yeah, no. Well, anyway, one of those in it. I've tried even a Parker refill in it, and none of them would fit. So I've been doing some research on the pen because I like the pen. I'm totally happy with the pen. And to be honest with you, I didn't care if it was able to write or not. I wanted the pen because I am determined to get a refill for this pen. So I'm looking up this pen, and there is a gentleman, an ex-Parker toolmaker from New Haven, England, who makes adapters to suit these pens. Also for the 21s, the 67, I'm sorry, skip that, my mistake. On the 25s, 35s, 45s, 61s, 65s, 75 models, 95, the 105, and the Sonnet, and the T1. And he says possibly many others. He makes adapters for these pins. And here's how that works. Right here on the end of the barrel tip, he makes an adapter to fit. If you want a felt tip, a gel tip, a rollerball tip, or just a regular ballpoint to fit, he'll make the adapter for that. So that is very interesting. A little bit about these refills, which is very interesting to me. If you want to know about where a pen has been, or what it's been through, or how it came to be, or what are the insides like, anything about a pen, regardless if it's a fountain pen, ballpoint pen, gel, whatever, when you look up the history, I think you would be surprised what all goes into it, and where this pen been, and how long it's been in operation, and how it came to be and came to life. So, let me read the notes. This gentleman also says, as far as he knows, he's the only person currently offering this service. So you can contact him for more information and prices, which range from, and I'll break it down to American dollars, $21.67 to $43.34. Okay, cool. Is it worth it? Well, I think it is for one of my vintage pens. Parker pens? Sure. Yeah. Parker rocks, baby. The third. So, let's talk about cartridges. This is the plastic one. And the original fiber tips available, and they were available in blue, black, red, and green. The early versions were plastic. That's this baby right here. With the later types having a steel body, and the steel body was like in a gold-plated, and at the tips end of the barrel, it had the color on it, blue, black, red, or green. But having a steel body section, and they were notorious, he says, for drying out, hence having a short shelf life. Now that's a bummer. He said some can still be found today working as this one is. I don't know how much longer, but at least I got a taste of it. Although for how long is anybody's guess. He's so correct about that. He said he's heard of people refilling these pens, although they weren't designed for that, and I've been checking that out. And it, might get damaged, and it may leak, so, I'm not brave enough to do that. So, he uses other manufactured fiber tips when converting pens that are still ready, available, and in his opinion, a better quality. So that's the history on this cool pen. Is this for everybody? Nah. It's just wherever your head's at, whatever your passion is. And are you a Parker pen collector? Well, Parker pen collectors, for me, doesn't just include a fountain pen. It includes a ballpoint pen, which I have. 3 of them, I think. I think they're jotters. And roller balls, mechanical pencils, anything aligned with Parker. No, I don't need an abundance of them. One of each would do. And they're very interesting pens. Now, Bad Brad, you'll be hearing more about him in later videos to come. Bad Brad has over 700 items in his store. You can check all that out on eBay right now. Just go to the description box in the bottom and check it out. Where does Brad live? Well, he lives in Janesville. And I want to give a special shout out to his kids, Oliver and Lily. And his wife's name?
Amara.
And he is Brad, goes by Bad Brad. Cool. And more about Brad and his lovely family later. But this is really a cool pen. You have to feel it. You have to want to love it. You know, does it have bells and whistles? No, not at all. But it is an old pen, vintage, from back in the 50s. That's what makes it unique. It's a Parker. That's another thing I like about it. Now, I can get this pen and send it to the gentleman I just was talking about earlier and have him restore the whole pen, shine it up, and have him put an adapter on the end. And I would probably stick with a felt tip because I don't have any felt tip Parkers. Try to keep it as close as I can to original on that felt tip. Well, my friends, that's going to wind up this video on the Parker vintage felt tip pen. And you saw how cool it wrote. Just think if it was a fresh felt tip that was inked up, never touched, and you started to lay down that ink. So, that's going to wrap it up, my friends. Thank you for joining me on Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews. God bless and have a great day. And remember, my friends, please don't text and drive. Later.